Hello, welcome to Quick Talk. My name is Rashad. Today's episode is about mental health with my friend Justin. First of all, I just want to note me and him are not experts on the situation. We're just talking about our experiences and how we dealt with it. Also, it wasn't planned, but former USA model Chelsea Chris had committed suicide, and we just want to bring just an enlightenment to the community and have an open dialogue and conversation about it. Please enjoy. So I was going to tell you, one of my close friends to me, they was going through some issues, and I felt like I couldn't understand them. I knew what they was trying to tell me, but I couldn't understand where they was coming from, but I understood the situation. And then when I heard how you expressed how one of your friends was trying to talk to you in your situation of mental health and different aspects of your life, it was easier to understand what they was trying to tell me and to relate, and how for me just to kind of fall back. I cannot be Superman for that person. I just have to be a listening voice in their ear when needed, but I cannot change that person's outlook or outcome.
Yeah, I remember us talking about this. I think that trying to fix someone else's problems is, it's, you can't see the complete picture, right? So it's like, imagine there's a puzzle and you're saying put this piece here, and you can't see the puzzle, right? You see a piece, but you can't see how it all falls together. And sometimes you can let us know what's missing, though. Like, I think that there was a point in my life where it was an achievement to be at a place where I could communicate to my loved ones that I was having a problem, right? Because you ever heard that, like, it's like this old quote or saying where it's like, if you think you're crazy, right, you're not, or something like that, right? Where it's like, basically, if you have an awareness of where you are at mentally, which I think at the root of mental awareness, like, that's what it is, right? Is to know where you are psychically, like to know where where your head is at. I got to a place where I was like, after like missing it a lot of times, where I was able to say like, oh, I'm not okay, right? And like, I missed that moment so many times and ended up in a really bad place. So now I'm like appreciative of the fact that I can see where the train is heading, not quite when it gets on the tracks, because because like life is stressful, right? So you'll start to be sad or anxious or whatever emotion you may be feeling, for like common reasons where everyone kind of experiences those highs and lows. But eventually you'll find yourself like completely enveloped by those issues. And at that point there, the train has left the station, right? Like, to return to one of the few metaphors I've used, right? Like, the train's left the station. So in to kind of keep digressing, like, you're not the only one. You're on the train, right? But like, your family is chasing that train.
And I was going to say, just kind of
your loved ones are chasing that train, yeah.
So to say that by me chasing the train, by me trying to be Superman, I did more harm than I did good, I guess, to that person. I guess I overstepped my boundaries and I pushed them. For me, this is my situation for the friend. I guess I pushed them away by trying to say, I'm always here. How can I help you? How can I help you? How can I help you? to them, I guess, kind of like, I got this. Relax. Thank you for being here for me, but this is something I have to do on my own. And you always trying to help is not helping the situation at all. And I would say, and I didn't really tell them this, but you know about it. And we knew each other fifth grade.
Fifth grade.
2005. That's a long time ago.
That is a long time.
So, like, I came from an all private school.
Mm.
My nickname was White Boy because that was like, I was more the only black kid for a minute when I first came.
See how the culture flip now.
Yeah,
right?
so people call me a nigga before I call White Boy.
That's not much better. But no, I'm with you. But can I say,
yeah,
part of that like achievement, right, of like being able to call like when I'm not feeling well. Mm-hmm. I think for me, like the next plateau, right, is like, you know, it's constantly challenging yourself and constantly working on yourself. But I'm now learning how I want to be loved, how I want to be treated, how I want to
being comfortable with yourself.
Yeah, I guess, right, to an extent, but also because when I'm not okay, mm-hmm. I need to like, you did everything right. Mm-hmm. Your intentions were good. And for me, when I make people feel like they didn't do something with my mother or someone I'm seeing, like if I make the people around me feel like they didn't do enough, or you know, they just felt helpless, right? I internalized that, which is wrong, but I internalized that, and I don't want them to hold that feeling because, you know, I lost the reins, mm-hmm. right? And the people around me are just doing their best to support me, right? And so as the person, you know, in the center of it, and as the person experiencing the illness, yes, I'm sick, mm-hmm. and I shouldn't be, you know, put down or made to feel guilty for being sick. But I also don't think that how I treat people when I'm not okay is okay. Mm-hmm. Like that hurts me, right? Where it's like, you know, like I pushed them all away, or you know, I got all, you know, overwhelmed and irritable and started finding problems with everyone, and you know, maybe like being just like so filled to the brim with my own critiques, mm-hmm. of myself that I had nowhere else to put them but on other people, you know. So it's like, I just feel like you didn't do anything wrong, mm-hmm. right? She would have rather have received it differently, maybe. She didn't communicate that. Your friend, I'm assuming it's a she, bro, but they didn't communicate, mm-hmm. how it was they wanted to be dealt with, right? Mm-hmm. You did your best, you know, and I would almost leave it at that. Like, you know, like love languages are different, love languages change, right? And so it's like, you try and do your best by people, mm-hmm. you know, and that should be what the takeaway is. Like, my family or my loved ones or people I care about not being able to, you know, keep me, you know, out of the hospital is not their fault, right? Like, it's not their fault. It's not my fault, right? That's what it is to have an illness, right? Like, if you have leukemia, if you have IBS, or you know, like irritable bowel syndrome, like if you have an illness that puts you in the hospital, like, it's not your fault. But again, that's a hard lesson to learn, right? And yeah, so I feel like that person, mm-hmm. has to deal with their issues, but I think it's also their responsibility to acknowledge when people are trying to be there for them in the best way they know how. You know, like when it's all said and done, I don't know, I just feel like it's almost selfish to me to not be like, you know what, like you tried, right? None of us could stop that train, but you didn't stop chasing after it. You know, that counts for something.
I guess, Karen, I was gonna say, kind of piggybacking off what Justin was saying. So it's mental health awareness, and so I think, you know, especially in the Black community, we find it hard to talk about issues like this, or just come to each other, or have a me moment. Also, it's okay to get counseling. When I say in high school I battled depression, I went to counseling. I got help. I didn't go tell nobody, you know, just my inner family and circle, but it's okay. My problem in high school, you could probably tell me, you know me for the longest, and my cameraman, hey, Coop, you know what I'm talking about as well. I always compared myself to people, and I was at my critical lowest, and then once I started comparing myself to people, I felt a whole lot better. Like I'm comfortable in me just being me, and then that's when I started seeing the turnarounds in my life. So it's okay to go get help. You know, that's an important part of life. One thing about mental awareness, depression is an ongoing battle, whether it's anxiety or other areas. Get the help. Let people know, like you said, acknowledge people that do try to help you. Don't push them away, but people have to understand that's a battle that you have to finish as well.
Yeah. Oh, so I told you depression, right? So this story that I really like a lot, it's called The Myth of Sisyphus. The Myth of Sisyphus, right? Sisyphus. This philosopher and psychologist, he wrote this book called The Myth of Sisyphus. And I'll never forget the first line of the book, he writes, the fundamental question of philosophy is whether or not life is worth living.
That's deep.
Yeah, it's it's deep. And he uses the myth of Sisyphus to answer this question. The myth of Sisyphus goes just about it. There was a man named Sisyphus. As in most Greek myths, he did something to anger the gods.
Yep.
And he was cursed for eternity to push a boulder up a hill, and at the top of that hill, the boulder would then roll back to the bottom. And Sisyphus was tasked to roll that boulder up that hill every day for the rest of all time. And Camus basically posits that imagine Sisyphus is happy. Imagine Sisyphus resigns to accept his fate, find purpose in it, and embrace it. You know, life, you know, is what you make it. Lemons and lemonade. You know, life has to be a product of what you make of it.
I agree with you there.
So, for me, when I start to feel like it's nothing but uphill battles, shit, I guess I'm just happy I'm not Sisyphus. Right? No, but I just, you know, I try to find the nuances each day that make life great.
I got you. Positivity in life. And I was going to say, so these are not, like I said, we and him are not doctors at all. I would just say these are just some things to try.
You're not a doctor?
These are some things to try when you're going through rough moments. Wake up early, have a game plan, work out. What were some other things he said in the video?
Keep a journal. Yeah, eat right, work out. There's a list of things you can do, and there's a ton of resources online.
Socialize. There's another one. Don't, in times of need, stress, it's okay to talk. You don't have to talk about your problems, but socialize, be around people. We're human creatures. You let all that pent up negativity energy get you, it's kind of hard to battle it by yourself. So go out, enjoy yourself, whatever makes you happy, or listen to something positive as well. Positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else?
Anything else, cameraman? Well, thank y'all guys for watching. This is Quick Talk with my man Justin. 5th grade, day 1. Crew Talk. And we're out. Thank you for watching today's episode. I'll put the resources for the links if anybody's struggling with mental health below, whether online or in person. And also some tips from another YouTuber named The Saint in the Center. Thank y'all for watching. Tune again. Also, last thing, Valentine's Day is this month, so I have 2 videos, one for men and one for women. So stay tuned. I know y'all probably like that. Have a blessed day.